Hi, folks. My name is Theodore Cottingham in Eureka Springs, Arkansas, a little town, but maybe not so little if you keep coming to see, coming to hear, coming to school, a school of life, a school of creation, a school unlike any other school. My name is Theodore Cottingham, and my school is the School of Creation. For Theodore Cottingham School of Creation is in session. Channeling you, I do. Not, but to you. I channel with you, for you to channel me, of the universe, of creation, to create it again in you who will be it, unafraid of life's death. Or will death no more occur, or will it have no power over you? I love you. Pardon me. I love you. You see, I love. And this is what makes the difference. You're more than a transaction to me. You're more than a person. You're more than a sack of flesh. I love you. And this makes me special, not that I am who I am. I become who I am. I become love in two shoes. I have become, I see this little shadow lying across my eyes and I don't like it. I have become sacred, not. I have become sacrilegious, not. I have become no more controlled by your narrative. If you think Jesus was a man who came like the story tells you, like the controlled narrative that exists in such a controlled state, a very highly controlled state, to control its adherents and whoever will adhere to being garnered by its magnetic appeal. Oh, there's someone else. There was a superhero before all the Marvel characters. There was a superhero 2,000 years ago. And he's going to arrive again. He's going to come through that eastern gate. He's going to make everything right. He's going to set up his kingdom. Everything will be cool. We won't have to work anymore. Everything will be lovely. My friends, I channel. I channel light. That's really not a great name for it. But it's a name that we appropriate, I think, to contrast it with that which is unlight. But see, we used to think we knew what darkness was. We thought we knew good from evil. We thought we knew God from Satan. We thought we had it right. We had a book. We had a Bible. We had a canonized version that was authorized. But my friend, we don't live in the world that we grew up in. I'm 73, and even if you're half my age, I suggest to you, your world is not the one you knew at your birth in flesh. Let us not be naive. Let us not be controlled nor gullible. The new covenant, the real new covenant, cannot be controlled. Religion cannot control it, and that's why they don't teach it. And that's why if they mention it, they call it, oh, the new covenant is the book, the Bible. That's the new covenant. It's the New Testament. That's the covenant. Because they don't know what it is, and they can't control it. And if they begin to find out what it is, and the motive of their heart is containment, control, to influence you, to have you serve them, to be your servants, your church members, be in their congregation, wear their lipstick, their brand, or whatever they're peddling. But my friend, it's not the same world. Let us realize the revelation of Christ is not that some man lived 2,000 years ago named Jesus, born of a virgin, had special powers. Special? Special. Well, if he was so special, born of a virgin and so special, so anointed, if he was like the only one, he was the great one, then when we read things like John 14:12, where Jesus said, if you believe in me, you will do the things I do, we utterly dismiss it. We see that as unreasonable, preposterous, ludicrous, unattainable, because he was special, you see. The control narrative is that he was special, that he was ordained or anointed of the Father. The Father what? The Father God, God the Father. To die on the cross? You think his red blood does something for you? I think it's Isaiah chapter 1, where the words read, God said, I am weary of all your animal sacrifices and the blood that you shed. I don't want sacrifice. I don't want bloodshed. But see, it's time for you to challenge what you have been taught. And the narratives that we have, so many of us, swallowed hook, line, and sinker. So willingly. Because we felt the anointing. We felt community. We felt accepted. We felt something, but what did we feel? I have begun. I have started the School of Creation. I started it 21 years ago when I began channeling. I've named it multiple names. And my school is opening again. And now it is the School of Creation. Because if you don't create, if you're not ready to embark into a systematic learning system of leadership that prepares you for the new beginning, you'll be swallowed up. And death will laugh at you as you're carried in the hearse, laugh at you while they say your eulogy, while some people cry, and others think they've lost you. They've lost a friend. Grow up. It takes effort to grow up. It takes effort, energy. It takes a consistent motivation to sustain a lifestyle, which I invite you to begin to enter in a new way, where you begin to no longer take your clothes off for another, to be fruitful and populate the earth, or enjoy somebody else's libido or even yours. I tell you, it's all changing dramatically. The tectonic plates are changing. Not only volcanoes, earthquakes, storms, wars, and rumors of wars, but my friend, this is the time of inclusion not, safety not, predictability not. This is the time to see that you were never unloved. You were never separate from the Creator, whatever you call it, no matter what your name for it. The beginning of the beginning, it wasn't 6,000 years ago. I suggest to you the Big Bang wasn't 14 billion years ago that created everything. But there are many creations. There are many universes. Billions and billions and billions of galaxies full of millions and billions of stars. And they are not off limits to us. And we don't need some rocket ship or to pay a fortune or to try to launch ourselves in a space suit to go have a few hours to see something we've never seen. I suggest to you that everything is changing at light speed and faster. May wonder what in the world is he doing. I'm in motion. And I've started a school, and I've called it Theodore Cottingham School of Creation, for you to create you again, my friend, because you are the creator of you. There was not someone else that created you a long time ago. The story has been so highly controlled It's been manipulated. It's been fashioned. It's been manicured, man-accured. It was fashioned by the patriarchy. What does a patriarchy want? Patriarchy. When you're willing to grow up, your world will shatter. Because the way that you had it figured out up here, upstairs, the way you've been taught, the way we have created our everyday lives, it's not in jeopardy. It's gone. And you are going to stand up or not. You are going to lead or not. You are going to crawl into your grave, or you're going to lead out. I have taught Meonics for years. Meonics, the real me, the royal me. The me, Theodore Cottingham, that draws you to me? No. And if you believe that, you're ignorant. You haven't done your homework. You haven't done your due diligence. Jumping to conclusions. You see, the mind wants to supplant the word of light with whatever it can ascertain as soon as possible, to leap to a conclusion and open your mouth to spit it out upon somebody else, vomiting what you think all over them. That's the modus operandi of common humanity. That's why people butt in. So many people won't even let you get a couple of sentences out before they butt in with "I think," "I believe." Well, I grow up. Love exists. A love which we never knew, not. We knew a love before time began, before the Big Bang, before there was ever a deity, a divine essence, a divine substance, a divine daddy, a sugar daddy, a Santa Claus God. Well, wait a minute. I'm not sure that was a great Santa Claus God if he's always walking around with his clipboard and pencil critiquing us whether we had a bad thought or not. Created heaven and hell. Heaven, hell. Hell, not just created it, not just a punishing place, but eternal damnation. Well, that's quite motivating to a lot of people who can't think past the narrative, who simply want to accept what other people have said because they have abdicated their own authority to think. I'm asking you to think. I'm asking you to challenge. I'm asking you to lead. I'm asking you to be reclusive no more, no matter whether you are 90 or 9. Lead where? Out of where we've been. Out of where we've been. Sidelined. Reduced to a spectator. Reduced to being a servant. I'm not a servant of God. I am not a servant of God theory. I become a lover of love. Unconditional love. Love that needs to be defined now, because when you just say love, it's so ambiguous. It has so many contradictory meanings. I love the fact that I can come to you this way over YouTube with a live technology. Do I love it? Or have I become love? The common vernacular betrays us. And we have been betrayed by love, not, but by that which portrays itself as love. And God is not love. God, for the most part, is a system of rules. It's a highly manipulated control narrative. And the sooner you begin to realize that and open your heart to this, you may find out you can experience a system of education that religion cannot control, that no church can control, that your family can't control, that your pastor will absolutely probably loathe. Because you're no longer sitting under the influence of his words. Boy, you want to see people turn on you in a moment and go from tender, loving, compassionate, religious leaders to seeing the venom come from their mouth and through their visage. Oh my. I have. I'm not alone. You know, many people have come out of organized religion, they call it, or whatever your name for some type of organized religion. Many of you have paid a real price. A price? What kind of price? Being ostracized by others, losing friends, suffering loneliness, wondering, was it worth it? Am I right? Am I wrong? Many fearing retribution, punishment from those that used to say so compassionately, I love you. I love you. Thanks for being here this morning. Thanks for being here this morning. Yeah. This is the way, the truth, and the life. God will prosper you. Just keep sucking eggs, sucking the message. Been there, done that. But the world we knew is not the world we are entering, nor even the world we are in. And I am preparing leadership. Or am I just an old guy asking a bunch of questions? I am the school of creation for you to create your school of creation. You may say, how in the world can he say, I am to create a school of creation? Valid question. I'm asking you to go beyond where you have ever gone. Like Star Trek, go where no man has gone. No, well, maybe one did. Maybe one man did what I'm talking about. A man called Jesus. There's more to the story than we've ever been told, taught, or been willing to understand, because so many preachers have preached, beware of false teachers. They roam about. They roam all over the heavens and the earth and in the street to devour you. False teachers. They instill fear. The people who warn you against false teachers are false teachers. Truth is not delicate. Truth invites examination. Truth is not fragile. I'm talking about the kind of truth that's unconditional truth, absolute truth, based, integral, to unconditional love, inextricably. I'm talking about your life now, and I'm talking about what you do with the rest of it. If you want to, but it's all by invitation. Have I asked anything of you? Have I required anything of you? I invite you to subscribe to the school. Become a student membership of it. But I haven't barred you from it, have I? I'm creating a school. And the school needs to be self-sustaining. I don't want to operate by donation. By donation, by begging. Fundraising, sending out millions of emails, starting Facebook campaigns. I don't want to live that way. Honestly, I don't even want to have to send you a donation receipt if I'm nonprofit. I don't want to have a board of a nonprofit. Been there, done that. Dealt with a board. Dealt with the IRS. No. My school, me, I'm just me. I'm a school, I have a school, I'm creating a school of creation. I'm not non-profit. And if you don't like that, sorry. Been there, done that, jumped through the hoops of all the normal religious ministries more than once. So I'm 73 now, and I'm not trying to appeal to who wants to follow me. I'm no longer listening to all the stories. I'm seeking lovers who are teachable, who want to learn, willing to lead. You may not want to lead. Believe me, there are many times I've tried to back out of this. Many times early on, I said, God, you've got the wrong guy. I can't do this. But if you're willing, if you're willing to receive correction, truth will correct you. And how does truth correct you? By punishing you? No. Truth caresses you tenderly, caressingly corrects you. How do I know this? I've experienced for years and years. It's in my words. It's in the words of Database One. So many times I begin to know these things, read these words, and begin to comprehend them, and weep. There's a transformation process, and it is not what we have heard and been taught that is salvation. Salvation? Saying a sinner's prayer? Oh, brother. A one-sentence prayer and you become a new creation? Your name is now on the roll of heaven? You defeat death? You live forever? It's from glory to glory? No worries, mate. That's preposterous. Let's learn to challenge the status quo, challenge the narrative. Challenge it how? By a bunch of protests in the street? No, right here, between your ears. This is where the kingdom of heaven is, the kingdom of God. This is where your essence is no longer limited to your magnetic field. We're talking about coming into a state where you're no more being turned on the dipoles. You're no longer magnetic. Magnetic what? Magnetic spin. Protons, neutrons, electrons, magnetic field. The magnetic field of an atom, a molecule, or the earth. You see, the macro and the micro are not entirely separate. But are you willing to learn? Are you willing to learn from within? Like I did, like I have. And go beyond me. It takes guts. It takes guts to step out, step up. It takes guts to look in the mirror and say out loud to yourself, I've been wrong. Maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, I want to know it. Are you willing to be right? Are you willing to learn a new narrative, a new story? Are you willing for that new story, that narrative to come through you? Or do you just want to adopt and live by somebody else's words, whether they were canonized, authorized, or not? I am asking you to no longer be fashioned by someone else's words. I'm asking you, inviting you to take mine and see another story so that you can begin to increasingly be willing to walk where no man has walked, where only you can walk, where only you can walk because you have the ultimate authority of creation in what you do up here, upstairs. It's not the man upstairs. It's the woman. It's the creator. It's the boy. It's the girl of every color, tribe, and tongue, no matter what they look like or smell like to you. We are all creators. And now we shall no longer be dumbed down by the religious message of God, Jesus, or any other name. For we are no longer worshiping the name of Jesus. Period. But it doesn't stop there. Become what he became. Become the story in your shoes. Learn. Learn what he learned. Well, it seems to me before you can learn what he learned, it might help and accelerate your education if you begin to learn how he learned. And this is why this book, the sole purpose of this book is not to follow Jesus or be a servant leader or a pew sitter. It's so you begin to understand the uncontrolled message of Jesus. Jesus the pattern. He was the first. I hope you're the second. And I hope you teach people around you how to be the third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth. We live in a different world than we grew up in. This is a school, and I have asked you multiple times to record these lessons and play them back, outline them, learn from them. See, when you outline them, I suggest to you it's you beginning the process of eating, eating, eating the word. Not the ink on paper, not tearing the pages out and physically swallowing them in your mouth, but even more real than that. You remember I've said a number of times that as I began to channel, at first I would write on yellow tablet with a pen, and I would write day after day multi-page messages. But fortunately, my dad, who I mentioned, was older. He didn't marry till he was 40. But when I got in my junior year of high school, just before school started, I went to my dad and said, "Dad, do you think I should take typing?" They just called it typing back then. My dad thought a moment and he said, "You know, I think it may be valuable to you." Seems like I've typed sometimes millions of pages. But I took typing. Huge class at junior in high school. Probably the largest class in the high school that I ever was in. And there were only 3 guys, but I was one of 3. And I did well. I excelled at typing, and I kind of enjoyed it. And then it was, 82 or so when I bought my first IBM PC. I was an internal auditor with the Williams Company for several years. Did a lot of EDP auditing. Computer, keyboard. Thankful for those skills. But you see, as I began to channel in 2003, I would write on yellow tablet, write with a pen. And then I would go back to my office and type them up so that I could email them out. But I'm relaying this so you may fashion a more fluid story about how you do this. And you're not surprised, and you don't shut down because you don't understand. How do you eat the words? I wrote them. I went back and typed them, but I'm a pretty fast typist. So I can type almost, back then, I guess I'd say somewhat mechanically. And then I would print them out. And then I would sit in my chair and I would read them. But how would I read them? Surrenderedly. Why would I read them surrenderedly? I read them for the content. I read them for that which the common eye cannot see in that verbiage. I read them with my heart. I read them in a process of communion. I read the words as if I was drinking them. I opened to those words day after day. And that's why I say many times, tears came into my eyes many times. There were tears. literally tripped off of my face onto the page. And more than once, at some point, I was so overwhelmed with what I was reading, the love, and how different the story is than the control narrative, that I slid out of my chair and laid face down on the floor of my little office. There's a way to read, and there are many ways to read, many levels of intent, reading for content. But you see, I'm talking about eating the words. I didn't write this to be an easy read. I had a friend tell me, I appreciate your book, but it's sure not an easy read. That was a good comment. That's valid. Most of it is channeled. A lot of it is like I speak. A lot of people don't like the way I speak. But I'm me, and I become me, and I like me. But I like love more. That tender caressing, those caressing moments. We no longer can sit where we have sat. Content with some level of security and predictability. If you want to know, it will cost you. One of the things I've thought so many times, I grew up in Christianity. In my 20s, mid-20s, I taught it. I started a share group, a dinner group. We met every other Friday night at 6 p.m. and everybody brought potluck. We'd have a meal for an hour and 15 minutes. Then we'd all go in the living room or whatever big room. Maybe go around the circle for anybody who wanted to say something. And then I brought some kind of teaching. And then would pray for everybody who wanted prayer. But I did that. I started that from scratch, and we did that for 5 years. I taught the young married Sunday school class called the New Horizons. But the world we knew that we thought was safe and secure and so figured out by everybody, that was so laid out in the Bible, my friend, it's all different. You will lead or you will get run over. You will learn how to learn from within you. You will learn a system of education from within you to let unconditional love teach you and begin to learn that all love is not love at all, and most of it isn't. No matter what it appears as love, the motive of so much love is control. It's called love. We've trained ourselves to feel. And when we equate a certain feeling with the presence of God. But there's more to the story. And here we are. Thank you for being here, for listening. My name is The School of Creation is in session. For you to create. For you are the creator of your consciousness. You are the creator of your consciousness, and you create your consciousness, and your consciousness creates you. Be not afraid of the lion's den. The lion's den or the street? A lion roars in the street. Have the lions gotten out of the cage? A lot of them are on stage, have major pulpits, draw thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of members and strut across their stage with big smiles. Eloquent teachers. But do you want to be entertained or do you want the truth? One thing about my mom, she always told me, my mom was great. She said, tell me the truth. Tell me like it is. Example, she gives me a Christmas present. She said, more than once, she said, do you like it? If you don't like it, tell me you don't like it. Tell me that's not what you want. So I can get you something you do like. No messing no messing around. Mary. Her name was Mary. My parents loved me. And I hope yours did. And even if they didn't, even if you don't even know who your biological parents are, I know who your dad is. Not, but I know that you can know your mother, your real mother. The mother that does not produce a seed for man. Your mother that you begin to see existed before there was ever a male race. But you see, if you don't want to know that, you can click me off. Go your way. Label me a blasphemer, a heretic. But there is another cosmology. And a much brighter one. Much more loving. Where you are much more powerful. In fact, you are so powerful you can't even imagine it. We've sat for years in pews and Bible studies and studied the same things over and over and over and over and over. Thought we were doing God a favor. No, we were serving God. But God doesn't want your service. God, love, unconditional love, doesn't want your worship, your servanthood. Unconditional love reproduces unconditional love. The manipulated narrative of Jesus reproduces gullible weaklings who reproduce what blinded them to cause other people to be blind. And that's the blind leading the blind. But when you're ready to go beyond religion, when you're when you're ready to go beyond your hurt and your limitations and all the people that have limited you and taught you to live your life under other people's authority. I have school. I invite you to my school. If you come participate, if you become a student in my school, you initiate. You have to learn to initiate. I won't beg. I don't give you a bunch of courses like I used to create, like I took. I graduated from the University of South Carolina. Got my MBA at Oral Roberts University. Got my doctorate in strategic leadership from Regent University in Virginia Beach. I've taken a number of computer and accounting courses in addition to those. Most of us have had a number of courses. And there's a lot of online courses now that people pay a lot for. Some of them in the thousands of dollars for a course that's online. Thousands. The average tuition in America for schools across the board is over $1,000 a month, according to the information I looked up yesterday. Over $1,000 a month. Over $1,000 a month. Whether it's grammar school, middle school, high school, or college, over $1,000 a month. So if I ask for 100, is it too much? Is it a ripoff or a bargain? You choose. But I share with you, you learn to initiate, to do things you've never done, to begin to operate with a wisdom internally in your mind where you are no longer the accuser of you, and you no longer play the tapes of other people's words and phrases to keep you in your chair, to keep you uncreative, to keep you laboring in the vineyard for God until he comes back. No, you don't play those tapes over and over and over and over and over and over on a loop. I could say, if you don't learn to control your mind, it controls you. No ifs, ands, and buts. It's just like an Enigma machine. I've mentioned that multiple times. Just like the Enigma machine, World War II. Look at the movies. Look it up. Enigma machine. Oh. It works by algorithm. It's a pre-programmed. How did it become so? We programmed it that way. We did. We created us. We have been our own creator. And now it's time to understand the revelation that we were not created by some far off, loving divinity, deity. So there's more to the cosmological constant knot, or is there more to the superposition? Or are there meons? Meons? What is a meon? Meon. Me? I don't know. That the God particle? Not the Higgs particle. But what allows you to transcend life? Transcend? Transcend what? The waves? The authorities and principalities of this world? The energy of this world? You know, everybody's going to crawl into their grave, or they will defeat death. Simple as that. Those who are appointed unto death to die are the people who choose to make that come true for them. But I don't choose it for you. But I can't choose for you. I invite you to come to the table of the feast, the banquet, the marriage supper of the Lamb. In the skies, the marriage supper of the Lamb with who? Your Creator. You, the creation of your Creator. And when you see the revelation of the Creator, you see the revelation of your own handiwork. And now this world has contained us and fashioned us, and we have lived in it. But it will no more limit us, and it will no more conquer us. And the words of hate, confusion, fear-mongering, brutality, and death will no longer appoint us to anything. So there's an army coming about. An army? What kind of army? Joel's army? Oh, gosh. They fall on their sword, and it will not hurt them? There's so much more to the story, friend. And I see I have shared with you almost an hour. And it just seems like somewhere around an hour is enough for a message, a lesson. So I invite you to the school of original blessing, original love, original grace, original energy. Not led by intuition, no longer destroyed by emotions. Repudiating that you need to save your soul, the seat of your emotion, the soul, your chakras, your energy entertaining addicted system. I'm creating a school. I've created a school. And I invite you to the school that I am for you to be. I am in your shoes. So that you're no longer following the first. You're becoming it. For when you really see, there's only one. But that one is made up of many ones, all who will be it. The unafraid rejoice now, and much afraid will fret. Much afraid will sit in their rocking chairs and pews and insist they were right and die for what they believe. But I have a school, and my school is not limited to one place. My school is here in Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Well, I'm here for the moment. I don't know how long I'll be here. I know that love, that I call unconditional love, is maturing all over this earth. And people are becoming no longer afraid of their inner voice and to experience the tender, caressing love that's inside of them, to commune with that tender, caressing love. My name is Jesus, not. My name is Theodore Cottingham. I love you all. TheodoreCottingham.com. If you're in the school, you initiate. You see, if you come into the school, you begin to have thoughts like you've never had before because you let them come forth. You think you have an idea suddenly of writing an email, writing a poem, writing a letter, sending me a message, calling the guy next door, inviting someone to a meal. Are you inviting Zacchaeus home for a meal? Are you Jesus? Are you the feet and hands of love? Will you love each other? Will you no longer be so quick to pick up a brick, a stone, and hurl it at the adulterer, someone that's outside the scope of your community? Will you be the one who walks up and says, let him who is without sin cast the first stone, so that you are between her and them? Guts, leadership. It's not easy to lead. I guess it's easier to roll over and play dead for a while, but it's not very satisfying. But it's not that we're looking for contentment. We're looking to become who we really are. No longer satisfied to be content with the addictions of religion, the addictions of certain narratives that keep us in place. It's time to lead. I love you. I invite you to school. If you want to know me, if you want to know about this school, you can discover, you can explore, you can go to the websites, even today. You can go to my website at TheodoreCottingham.com and look up all the links, and one of them you'll see there at the top of the page, the Meonics Covenant. The Meonics Covenant is my foundation. The Meonics Covenant is what calls forth for this school. To create a school that creates schools, that unleashes the force, the source of pure unconditional love, becoming something in your shoes that you never dreamed possible. For you were in the script of the Marvel heroes before they ever wrote the movies. If you're willing to see the script and rewrite it, because you're determining the words. You're the creator. Now create. You. With joy, love, and peace, loving each other equally, of every nation, tribe, and tongue. And you, my friend, I will adore not someone else. For it's not about the adoration of the Magi. It's about unconditional love for each other. Harbor no grudge. Don't be tempted to argue. If your God is a God of vengeance and wrath, I suggest you resign from that and come into the knowledge of peace and experience a system, methodical system of transformation, and learn to become love in your two shoes. Do things you've never done. And many shall be saved. Not. Many will become leaders now and lead in the revolution, not of the faithful, but the face of God, the face of unconditional love, being women who are no longer under men. I love you. I stand. I teach. How long is school? In my school? You can find that answer in Database 1, the Meonics Covenant. You can find it. 70 weeks. Why 70 weeks? What does that relate to? I talked about it more than once. I teach. Oh, I think this is a cool picture. And I teach Meonics. And it's all changing because it's no longer about him. It's about all who will be the one. All of us. All of us becoming light people. Healing earth and farther. I love you. I go. TheodoreCottingham.com. You can write me. Snail mail, Box 34, Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Where all the hippies are. I've been asked that a couple of times in the comments on YouTube. Isn't that where all the hippies are? No. But a lot were that have been here for years and years. Certainly the most loving community I know. There's a few grumpies, but so consider Eureka on your holiday maybe. I don't know. Maybe we'll run into each other and have a mocha at the coffee shop. That's where I'm headed almost every day. I love you. See into your future. Please. By creating it. And dismissing not the thoughts of your own mind, but understanding how to examine, evaluate, and do not toss you aside anymore. Love communicates. Unconditional love raises unconditional love. The operation. The operation of Jesus, the education, the transformation, the transmogrification. You know I'm a sesquipedalian. Is here for all. Let's have fun. Communicate. Be not afraid. Be not afraid of recording these lessons and keeping these recordings, sharing these recordings, putting them on CD, DVD, sharing them. Share what you value and become your love without limit. Theodore Cottingham, a new day, the school of creation arises in your ears throughout your love with your hands and feet to be it, teaching who will now lead. Please and thank you. Good day. TheodoreCottingham.com. Good day. Tell others. Invite. Go forth. Create. See you, love. I love you. And if you don't remember anything else, remember I love you. And there's a cost to love. Because when you really love and you know love, you become it. Good day.